Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Red with only one Cubone was fun, but standard. Let's follow up with something that we haven't done in a long while. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Gold without learning any new moves? When I say no new moves, I mean no new moves. See Totodile's level up move list here? He starts with Scratch and Leer, but he'll automatically learn Rage and Water Gun later because he has empty move slots, but I'm keeping my rules strict. He started with Scratch and Leer, so those are the only moves he'll ever be allowed to use within combat. That means that I'm going to have to really research the wild Pokemon of many areas to figure out what I can catch and what will be at the right level to have the moves that I want. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so all of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I'm confident that I can win, but that there's going to be a lot of points where I have to deep dive on Bulbapedia to figure out how to make progress. Let's explain the rules. I'm not allowed to use any moves that my Pokemon didn't have when I caught it. If it has empty move slots, then I can't stop it from learning new moves as it levels, but we won't be allowed to use any of those new moves in combat. I can learn HMs for outside of combat, but I can't use them in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So right off the bat, I actually have no reason to use the Pokemon randomizer, so I just go ahead and grab Totodile. I probably won't keep him forever, but he won't be weak against the first gym, so I can probably just dump a bunch of Water HMs on him later in the run when we don't need to use him anymore. Everything starts exactly how you'd assume. Totodile is meant to be able to win fights this early pretty easily, so I just scratch my way through the early routes until I get to Dark Cave to catch a Geodude. It's only gonna have Tackle, but I really just wanted something that could take some hits against Bugsy for later in the run. Pokemon this early in the run won't have any good moves, so they're just temporary ones to help us make progress. Pretty much right away, I go to the Flying Gym. Geodude got Mud Slapped down before we could deal any serious damage, so Totodile is out already. I scratched Pidgey down almost instantly, but Pidgeotto was next. I opened by using Leer, as it was hitting me with weak gusts, then I kept scratching it back. It was very close, but we did take it out. The route after has all kinds of cool Pokemon that I could be catching, but most of them don't have any useful moves yet. It did just turn nighttime though. Because of that, I go to Sprout Tower and catch a Ghastly. It only has Lick and Hypnosis, but at least we have a sleep move. Might be good for catching stuff. I also pick up a Wooper for his Water Gun. I would catch a Spearow too before we get to the next city, but Spearow can only be caught during the daytime. It would have been really nice to get Peck before the Bug Gym. Oh, and in Union Cave, we had the slowest fight in the universe as our Geodude had to beat up 3 other Geodudes in chip fights with Tackle. He needs the experience though. Geodude is who I plan to tank through Bugsy's Metapod and Kakuna with. In the Bug Gym, Totodile evolves into Croconaw right before Bugsy, so that timing was perfect. Geodude and Metapod traded tackles for ages, but Geodude won that fight by a landslide, and we switched to Croconaw as Scyther came out. He missed Leer, we scratched him for a bit, and he started his Fury Cutters. He took us all the way down to 1 health when we had him at about 1 as well. We ate our Held Berry automatically, but it didn't save us. I sacrificed Wooper and Ghastly, hoping that Scyther would miss a Fury Cutter to lose power, but we lucked out and used a quick attack on Wooper. Because of that, Geodude was able to finish it off. Last is Kakuna, but even with it poisoning us, it didn't stand a chance. Next is our rival, but because he opens with a Ghastly and we've just been using lots of normal moves, we need to actually go level up this Wooper until he can start the fight for us. At level 11, he is just strong enough that he can take out Ghastly. The second is Bayleaf, but all of our trained up Pokemon are weak to Grass type, so we really don't last long. I decide to wait until morning so I can catch a Sparrow. Peck isn't going to be that great, but it's the only flying move we can get our hands on right now, so we'll take what we can get. After grinding Sparrow up a bit, we go after the rival again. Wooper gets messed up and paralyzed by Ghastly, but we still win, and we switch for Spearow when Bayleaf comes out. We just kept pecking, and it actually does great damage thanks to all of Bayleaf's wasted turns, but 2 Razor Leaves did take us down. I send Croconaw out, and thanks to him wasting time with Growl, we scratched him down. Last is Zubat, so I switched to Geodude, but it just kept biting us, so we really didn't last long. Croconaw finished it off with no real problem though, just hitting himself in confusion a bit. The forest here doesn't really have any Pokemon we want. Headbutting trees for a level 10 Butterfree would be nice since it knows confusion, but considering just how long I'd be sitting there trying to find one, it's probably not worth it. Butterfree's pretty weak anyway. Now that I can get to Goldenrod, I go ahead and catch a Drowsy. Now, as much as I'd love to keep him, since this is literally my favorite Pokemon ever, his starting moves suck, so we're just gonna have to trade him to this dude in the local department store for a Machop. Low Kick is her only fighting move, and her other moves are just Leer and Focus Energy, but that should be enough for the upcoming Normal Gym. Speaking of, Normal Gym time. Clefairy opens with the hilarious move of metronoming up a Bide, making her sit there and get easily taken out. Next is Miltank, though. Right away we get stomped hard, hit a low kick for a bit of damage, then another stomp takes us out. I switch for Croconaw and the rollout starts. I hit Leer once and then start scratching, but rollout missed early, so when I dropped Miltank into red health, she used Milk Drink to heal. She then missed another rollout, I hit Leer again, she missed a third rollout, we scratched her into red health, she healed, I scratched her again, she started a new rollout, I dropped her defense a third time, her rollout is building power, we brought her to a sliver, she brings us to a sliver, then we hit the finishing blow. That battle took a year off my life. After that, I head north and catch Growlithe on the way. He'll have both Bite and Ember, so that'll give us a Dark move for the Ghost Gym and a Fire move for the Steel Gym. I'm actually feeling really good about this run right now. It's a shame that we can't get a Firestone until well after the Elite Four, because I'd love to evolve Growlithe right now. If this was Crystal, then I could get one from Schoolboy Alan, but this is Gold. I also go out west and catch myself a Tauros. It only has Tackle, Tail Whip, Rage, and Horn Attack, but it also has tons of attack and speed, so I might want to use this for the raw power at some point. I also went ahead and fought trainers in nearby areas like the Lighthouse to try and get more levels on Growlithe so that we can bite our way through the Ghost Gym. Even after getting all the way up to level 27 though, we still can't bite our way through the Ghost Gym. I was hoping they'd just miss Hypnosis a lot or use Curse so that I can switch and let them waste their health, but Morty was smart and just used Nightshade and Shadow Ball instead. Hilariously enough though, I try again at level 28, and I do end up winning just because they keep spamming Hypnosis. See, Hypnosis is already a 55 accuracy move, so it misses a lot, but in Gen 2 it's even worse because the AI have a built-in miss chance for every status-afflicting move. That's why you'll see weird things like Thunder Wave missing when the AI uses it, even though it had 100 accuracy in Gen 2. Apparently that existed in Gen 1 as well, and that's why your rival's Pidgeotto would miss Sand Attack all the time, even though it's 100 accuracy. With that done, I go to Olivine City Harbor and start fishing with the Good Rod. This specific spot is the only place where we can find Shelder before we have Whirlpool, and Shelder will start with Aurora Beam, the first ice move that we can get our hands on. Considering the 8th gym is a Dragon one and Lance is the Pokemon champion, I should get an ice move early. Also, now that we can use Surf, I spend some time around the Whirl Islands until I find and catch a Mantine. This is going to replace Wooper since it has Bubble Beam instead of Water Gun. You know what's cool about this challenge? I get to use Pokemon that I've never used before. I don't think I've ever used a Mantine. Next, I need to level up our old Sparrow before we can stand a chance in the fighting gym, so I give it an experience share and do the Rocket Hideout with Growlithe. They're the two we need for the next two gyms, so I've got to make sure that they're ready. While I'm in town, I skip ahead to the Ice Gym. We scratch down Seal in 2 easy hits with Feraligatr, but Dugong managed to take us down to half health before we could scratch him down. We switched to Growlithe for Pillow-Swine and spammed out Ember. We did some decent damage with Blizzard, and he held on with a Hyper Potion, but we never went down and got an easy victory. Not only did the Ice Gym go well, but the Fighting Gym went well as well, because our Pharaoh was able to just peck his way through the fight just fine, mostly because of the bad move choice of the opponent. Even with us being able to beat the Ice Gym though, the Steel Gym is always a brick wall. Magnemite always opens with Thunder Wave, so we are usually going to get paralyzed early. Their Thunderbolts are incredibly powerful, and Steelix can completely destroy most of my team. I need a few more levels so that my Growlithe can one-shot Magnemite. A few levels later and we can one-shot Magnemite. When Steelix comes out, I send out Muscle, now a Machoke, to start hitting low kicks. It does decent damage, but thanks to Screech and Iron Tail, she goes down. I sent Growlithe back out and spam Ember. We took some big damage off Rock Throw, and she healed with a Hyper Potion to last longer, but we ended up taking it down, and the last Magnemite was another one-shot with Ember. Next is the Rocket Takeover of Radio Tower, so I use it as my chance to level up Shelder with Experience Share. As far as I can tell, we can't get a better ice move in Ice Path. The best we can get there is Powder Snow, so I'm gonna just invest in Shelder and hope that Aurora Beam will be enough for Claire and Lance when we get there. Before that though, it's time for another rival fight. Right away, Golbat bites down Shelder incredibly easily, and our Aurora Beam does almost nothing. I send out Pharaoh next just to do some damage with Peck, but thanks to confusion, we don't quite manage to take it down. Growlithe is able to finish it off, but not before taking a big wing attack. Haunter drops down his own health with Curse, and Growlithe bites to finish him off, so I switch to Tauros to remove it as Magnemite comes out. I'd have preferred to use Ember right away, but the Curse would have hurt us too badly. Tauros did almost nothing before he fainted, but the sacrifice was important. Back to Growlithe, and Ember finishes it off. Sneasel's next, and although it hits us reasonably hard, we take it down with Ember. Last is Meganium, and thanks to some amazing luck with us having a speed tie, we actually managed to take it out. With that done, I make my way to the Dragon Gym, but the trainers in it gave me a ton of issues. I'm thinking Shellder and Tauros are going to be my way to victory here, so I grind on the mountain where Aurora Beam can easily take out plenty of the local Pokemon. Just like Growlithe though, Shellder isn't going to try to evolve until after we get the Water Stone, and we can't get one till Kanto, so this is all we've got for now. After a decent amount of grinding, I try to fight Claire. I'm not going to waste her time though, we got pretty much crushed. Even with all of the grinding, Shellder is just too weak to stand a chance against the Dragonairs, to the point that I might want to just get a Jinx for the better stats. Tauros did a much better job, but it still didn't last super long, and our Machoke was able to take out another one, but it was mostly thanks to a lucky crit. We made it to Kingdra, but she could have just swept our whole team with that alone, so I'm gonna have to grind. I decided that it would make more sense to grind up our Machoke, since it was a traded Pokemon and gets boosted experience gains, saving me a lot of time when using it. I never want these Pokemon challenges to be late, and I really don't have a lot of time in a week, so this might keep things on time. After many new levels, I try again. This time Tauros is able to take out the first two Dragonairs, but thanks to Paralysis, he did eventually go down. Machoke was able to come out and finish it off, but once again, Kingdra was way too strong. I threw my entire team at her, and it could hardly make a dent. This is actually a harder fight in this challenge than it usually is, because I don't have a single highly leveled up Pokemon with a decent move to just sweep through this with. Instead, I have underleveled Pokemon that would normally get me the win through superior moves and tactics, but because of our no new moves rule, we're just at a massive disadvantage. I can't really get my hands on better moves right now. All I can do is level up. On the next attempt, Tauros ended up being able to take out all three Dragonairs, but seriously got hurt in the process. For Kingdra, I switched to Machoke, and I was worried because we kept getting hit by Smokescreen, but our second low kick, we completely lucked out, landing a crit and getting a very lucky victory. After the battle, I went straight to Ice Path and caught myself a Jinx, then gave it experience share so it can start leveling up. I forgot just how weak the special attack of a Shellder is. That mixed with the fact that I wouldn't be able to evolve it for ages, and this is probably the better choice, even if her ice move is pretty weak. So next we have the last rival fight before the Elite Four, but our team is pretty weak at the moment, so I spent some time trying to grind up our new Jinx. The unfortunate part about this area of the game is that there really isn't anything that we want to catch. There's some decent Pokemon, but most of them are just a few levels too low to learn any of their good moves, so we don't have any reason to catch anything here. During the grind, I do actually catch a shiny Doduo, though. It's a shame it doesn't have any flying moves, so I can't really get away with adding him to the team. Anyway, it's rival time. Right away, Sneasel starts with a Fury Cutter on Growlithe. Naturally, it doesn't work out that well, and Growlithe wins just fine. Jinx is out for Golbat, and Powder Snow does massive damage. Wing Attack takes out a decent chunk of our health, but we win the follow-up easily. Magneton is out, so naturally I send out Growlithe. Ember takes it to half health, Thunder Wave paralyzes us, Thunder Shock hits us hard, we're fully paralyzed, a second Thunder Shock brings us close to red, but we finish it off. Haunter's next, and he just used Curse again, so we hit him with Bite to take him down, and I switched to Tauros for Kadabra, who easily powers it down in one Horn Attack. Last is Meganium, so I sent out Jinx. His Body Slam hits us really hard, but we did exactly enough damage to finish it off with a 2-shot. Let's take one last look at our stats before we try the Elite Four. Honestly, I don't think we stand a chance yet. Our Pokemon are lower levels than theirs, often weaker Pokemon in general, and our move selection is terrible. Keep in mind that a lot of the moves you're seeing here are ones that we aren't allowed to use because they're either from HMs or simply they learned them from level up at a low level when we still had empty move slots. We need Growlithe's Bite or Taurus's Raw Power to beat Will, but at this level, I just don't think it'll be enough. It's worth a try though. Make your final guesses on if we can win or not. Let's do this. But first, we got a call from youngster Joey saying to follow me on Twitter. First is Psychic Trainer Will. First is Atu, so I tried to have Growlithe bite it, but it hardly did anything and two Psychics took us out easily. Tauros was able to brute force it with Horn Attack though, and they sent out Jinx who was hardly able to hold on from one hit. They just used Double Slap though, so we finished it easily. Exeggutor, on the other hand, was actually able to take out Tauros, but not without losing all of his health. Fearow was able to finish it off with a single peck, but then Slowbro was out, so I switched to Jinx. Instantly, we failed to put it to sleep and he used Amnesia, so his special defense is very high. We have no good choices, so I switch out to Muscle for low kick and hit a very weak crit. I used Leer, but he wakes up and gets his defense back with Curse. I switched to Fearow, but it hardly does anything before it goes down. I even threw Jinx back at Slowbro to do anything we could before Muscle was able to finally come out and finish it off. Next was Xatu though, who both confused us and easily took us out with Psychic. Last is Mantine, but she is super under-leveled, so I lost. Okay, with that loss, it's obvious I have to grind. If it was that bad trying to fight Will, then we're just going to get road-blocked later in the Elite Four too. I really don't have any great choices of Pokemon to go and catch, and it would take ages to go train up fresh new Pokemon if I found one with a single move that I wanted, so I decided to just grind hard and try to get my team up to level 50. This takes far longer than in my single Pokemon challenges, since at least in those, the battles are fast, and I only need to level up one Pokemon. But in this run, we have bad moves, somewhat weak Pokemon, and we have to train up 6 of them. It's not even that close. This takes far longer than in any other run. I love multiple Pokemon runs, but I hardly ever get to do them for the same reason that I hardly ever do Gen 5 challenges. They usually take between double and triple the length to make, and thus I run the risk of the video being late, and I really don't like when the video's late. Eventually, I try again. Xatu's first, so I bring it all the way down to red health with Powder Snow from Jinx, then we tank a Psychic easily and finish it off. Next is their own Jinx, so I have Tauros gore it in one shot, and switch out to Fearow to peck Exeggutor. It puts up a Reflect though, so the second peck isn't quite as strong, and Psychic hits us incredibly hard. The last peck leaves it with a Sliver before it finishes off Fearow. Tauros easily finished it with Horn Attack though. Slowbro is next, but Reflect is still up, so the first hit didn't do much. The second one was much better, but now he's using Curse to buff his defense, then he hit hard with Psychic. We finished him off, and last was the final Xatu, so we just took him out with Jinx the same way we took out the previous one. Second is Poison Trainer Koga. Ariados went down in 2 easy Embers as he was just trying to use Double Team, and I kept Growlithe out for Fortress since he's double weak to fire. A critical Ember took him out, then I switched for Tauros to deal with Muck. It took 3 Horn Attacks and we got hit by Toxic, so I can't use Tauros too much. Back to Growlithe for Venonat, and he gets badly poisoned as well. By the time he goes down and Crobat comes out, I switch for Jinx. Wing Attack hits us incredibly hard, but 1 critical Powder Snow took it out and won us the fight. Third is Fighting Trainer Bruno. Hitmontop starts with a few weak shots, but Fearow picks him down just fine, and we switch for Jinx to one-shot Onix with Powder Snow. For Hitmonchan, we send Fearow back out, and Peck does a lot more damage than I expected. We got hit with Ice Punch once, but his special attack is terrible, so we're fine. On Machamp though, we only got in 1 Peck before going down to Rock Slide. I sent out Mantine to hit Bubble Beam, and we took massive damage off a Rock Slide, but as we went for the finishing blow, Machamp used a Max Potion. We got his health back down with 2 more Bubble Beams, but another Rock Slide took us out. I sent Jinx back out, and Powder Snow did a lot less than I was expecting, so 1 Rock Slide took us down. Tauros was able to outspeed him and finish it, but our team is pretty badly beaten up. Last is Hitmonlee, so I have Tauros hit Horn Attack to bring him all the way down from full health to red, as his double kick nearly finished us off. On the follow-up, we take him out. Fourth is Dark Trainer Karen, but I actually forgot to stock up on revives and potions to last me this far, so I need to go buy more and then get back here real quick. Whoops. Okay, first real try. Right away, Muscle low kicks Umbreon for half its health, makes it flinch, then kicks it again for the knockout. Vileplume is next, so I switch for Jinx. We deal massive damage, but end up getting paralyzed and hit before we can take it down. Houndoom is next, so we send out Muscle again. Flamethrower does a massive amount of damage to us, but 1 low kick takes it out in return. We switch to Growlithe to deal with Gengar and instantly get paralyzed from Lick. Thanks to a crit though, it only takes 2 bites to finish her off. Last is Murkrow, so I just overpower it with Tauros for an easy win in 2 shots. Finally, Pokemon Champion Lance. Gyarados is first, so I have Tauros start the fight, and it goes perfectly, with a crit leading to a 2-shot, so he only used Rain Dance. His first of 3 Dragonites is second, so I have Jinx take it down into 1 Powder Snow. Next is Charizard, and I made the stupid move of switching to Tauros to brute force it, forgetting that Mantine would have been great, especially with the rain. Because of that, we got nailed with Slash and Hyper Beam, so although we took it down, we lost almost half of our health in the process. Jinx one-shots the other Dragonite, next is Aerodactyl, who outsped Jinx and took her out in one hit of Rock Slide, so there goes our Ice move. I sent out Mantine instead, but she nearly goes down in one Rock Slide before doing some big damage. She goes down on the follow-up though. Muscle's next, and although we took big damage from Wing Attack, we still took it down with Low Kick. Last is the final Dragonite, so I switched to Tauros to brute force it. Horn Attack does about a quarter of its health and damage, and its Outrage nearly finishes us off. Our second Horn Attack crits to take it to red health, and we ended up going down, so I sent out Pharaoh. He used a full restore before our pet could finish him off though. We did get a few shots in, thanks to him using Safeguard. Hyper Beam hit us, but we hung on and got 2 shots in because of it. Then he missed his follow-up Hyper Beam, but that does mean he doesn't have to recharge. When I had him in red health, we finally went down, and Growlithe was able to come in and mop up the fight. With that done, we get into the Hall of Fame, but that doesn't mean that we're done the run yet. Like usual, Kanto is pretty easy outside of the blue and red fights, but now that we have all kinds of new Pokemon available to us at higher levels, maybe we can get some cool new moves. I go to Bill's grandpa's place to see if I can get a Firestone, but he just keeps asking to see a Lickitung. I actually went ahead and caught one to show it to him, but he just told me to come back later after giving me an Everstone. So I guess I don't even have a chance of getting a Firestone until tomorrow. That's a shame. Anyway, after that I started hunting for an Electabuzz. Believe it or not, with all the research that I did, I couldn't find a single grass type that would start with a decent grass move, or an electric type that would start with a decent electric move, other than how Electabuzz has Thunder Punch. I thought that I'd be spoiled for choice coming into Kanto, but honestly, the choices are really limited. Electabuzz with Thunder Punch, Leer, and Quick Attack is actually our best catch. I spent a while leveling up Electabuzz through experience share against the weaker gym leaders who really aren't worth showing, as well as a healthy amount of grinding out in the ocean. A good electric move is something that I've really been wanting for most of the game, so hopefully this will be the piece that gets our team victory. Eventually, I try the blue fight. Pidgeot is first, so I open with Electabuzz's Thunder Punch. In an amazing stroke of bad luck, Pidgeot uses Mirror Move and crits us, so we actually took a ton of damage before we finished him off. Rhyhorn took big damage off Powder Snow and thankfully missed his Rock Slide, so we finished him off. I should have used Mantine. For Arcanine, though, we sent out Mantine just to lose tons of health to extreme speed and do pretty good damage to Bubble Beam. We bring each other to red health on the follow-up, but then he just used a full restore, so although we hit him again, we went down to extreme speed on the follow-up. Tauros came out and brought it to low health again. We lost 100 health to Flamethrower, then Blue used another full restore so we couldn't take him out before we went down. Out to Electabuzz and we get taken out before we can even land a hit. Pharaoh goes down in one Flamethrower. I really need to replace him. Jinx manages to hit Lovely Kiss to put him to sleep, so I try some of our other moves while he's asleep, but we just can't do more than a sliver, and we go down to Flamethrower when he wakes up. Last it was Growlithe versus Arcanine, but we still couldn't even finish him. His Arcanine is a beast. Okay, most of our team is legitimately 10 levels or more below our opponents, and we're using terrible moves. It's pretty obvious that I'm gonna have to grind a lot more. Also, it's the next day now, so I went to Bill's grandpa's place again to see if I could get a Firestone, but he was only offering a Leaf Stone today, so I left. After getting the team to about level 50, I try again. This time Electabuzz still takes about the same amount of damage as Pidgeot goes down, and for Rhydon I use Mantine and just one-shot it with Bubble Beam. He sends out Alakazam next, so we have Growlithe go out. He drops from full health to only 2 health off Psychic, then bites for almost nothing. Right, I forgot that was a special attack in Gen 2. Growlithe goes down and I send out Tauros to just gore him in one shot. Gyarados is next, so I have Electabuzz Thunder Punch for an easy one-shot, then I switch to Jinx to deal with Exeggutor. Powder Snow hits pretty hard and he was charging for a Solar Beam, so I tried to put him to sleep, missed, and lost almost all of our health. We did put him to sleep on the follow-up, but he just used a full restore to recover. We hit another Powder Snow and Lovely Kiss, and he just used another full restore, so at least we're getting them out of the way before Arcanine. This time he seems to have run out of full restores though, so we were able to Powder Snow him into submission. Last is Arcanine, so I switched for Mantine. This time we ended up doing solid enough damage with Bubble Beam, and we got a win in only 2 shots as a result. With that done, we can finally go to Mount Silver to fight our rival, but his Pokemon are level 73 through 81, and our Pokemon are about level 50 with way worse moves. This means that I'm going to have to grind an absolute ungodly amount before we're able to win at this point in the game. I love that Joey keeps calling me to tell me about whatever super tough Caterpie he beat last while I'm off grinding to fight Red himself. At level 60, I decided to try and fight Red just to see how far we get. Pikachu is first, but I took it out in 2 horn attacks from my Tauros that's 21 levels lower than it, even with him using Charm. Do you see why I do Pikachu challenges? He's just terrible. Second is Espeon, so I sent out Jinx, tank a Psychic, put it to sleep with a lovely kiss, then switch back to Tauros. His attack will be normal thanks to the switch, and he was able to brute force Espeon pretty quickly with 3 horn attacks. Third is Snorlax though, so I switched to Muscle. Low Kick still isn't weight-based in this game, but it crits for half his health. We ended up losing over half of our health to a Body Slam though. Our second Low Kick brought it into red health, but we went down on the next Body Slam. Electabuzz is next, and somehow a Thunder Punch and red health didn't finish him off. We got Body Slammed for nearly all of our health in return. I'm just lucky that the follow-up took it out. Fourth is Venusaur, so I switched to Growlithe, but Ember isn't doing much. Solar Beam really messed us up, but at least it gave us a lot of time. We got tons of Embers in, but 2 Solar Beams took us out. Back out to Jinx, and she was able to finish it off with Powder Snow, mostly thanks to it wasting time with Solar Beam again. Fifth is Charizard, so Mantine is out, but even his critical Fire Spin did almost nothing to us. Our critical Bubble Beam, on the other hand, did tons of damage, so even with his wing attack following up and hurting us quite a bit, we took him down. Last is Blastoise, so I switched back to Jinx and put him to sleep with a lovely kiss. Then I switch out to our wounded Electabuzz, and all it takes are 2 Thunder Punches to finally win the hardest fight in the game. I didn't even slightly believe that I was gonna win that run at anything below level 70, but I guess level 60 is all we needed. It's a shame that so many wild Pokemon start with really weak moves in this game. I'd be pretty interested to try this again one day, but in Heart Gold Soul Silver, because that would actually be really fun to research. It would take insanely long though, so maybe I need to put that off for a little while. I really hope you guys liked that run. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for next Saturday's Pokemon Challenge yet. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments, in the Pokemon Challenge section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. If you guys want to see me do more challenges like this, please let me know in the comments or on Twitter. I can always use more ideas from you guys on what I should do next. Also, check out the playlist in the description if you want to watch all the Pokemon challenges that I've already uploaded. If you guys want to see more Pokemon stuff from me, my friend What a Geek and I just finished a Gen 1 randomizer over on his channel, linked in the description. You can also find myself, What a Geek, and Gooseit playing Pokemon Stadium here on my channel. Also, come to my Twitch TV streams and tell me that this video sent you. It's always cool to hear how you found the channel. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.